Moving forward, I want to focus on our media panel. We're going to look at hotkeys that allow you to control where it is displayed, what is displayed, how to create folders, how to navigate through files, and so on. First of all, the options that I'm going to show you with the shortcuts we're about to discuss are available to you from the media panel flyout. But as with everything else, using the shortcut hotkeys will be much faster than coming down and accessing the panel. And all the shortcut hotkeys that we're about to discuss, as far as the placement of the media panel, the display of the media panel, and so on, use a combination of the one key, which is above your Q key, your letter keys, and your arrow keys. For example, the media panel by default is on the left-hand side of my UI. If I want to have it displayed on the right side of my UI, I hold the one key and I hit the up arrow key. If I want to return it to the left side, do the same thing. Hold the one key and hit the up arrow key. So this hotkey is kind of a toggle, if you will, as to which side of the UI you want it to be placed or displayed on. Currently, right now, you'll see the media panel takes up the full length of the UI on any side that you have it on. If we want to have it displayed not as a tall or a full display, I'll hold the one key and I'll hit the down arrow key. This hotkey allows you to display the media panel in what is called the full height or not the full height. And obviously, when I have it set not to be full height, my editing panel expands to fill that part of the UI. You can just barely see it, and if you want to bring your cursor to the very edge of the media panel, you can expand the width to a certain point, and you can see some file information, such as file format and cached. But you'll notice that we have a scroll bar along the bottom, and I can start to scroll across to the right-hand side to display all this other information about the media in the media panel. To display all the details, you hold the one key and hit the right arrow key. Again, it's a toggle, one right arrow key, to display and not display all the detail information. A point of note that's interesting, when I'm displaying all the detail, you'll notice that my editing panel, the timeline, the sequences, is still visible on the bottom. You can now use the one and the down arrow key to hide that, because now technically the media panel is in the full mode. But now my UI, the timeline area, is showing me nothing but the media panel and all the detail. Of course, I can still scroll over with the bar on the bottom to access all the information, right-click and change what is shown, and so on. I'm going to hold the one key and hit the down arrow key. To take it out of full mode, I'll hold the one key and hit the right arrow key to step out of the detail mode. The last hotkey is to hide the media panel. Hold the one and hit the left arrow key, and now it is hidden. So that's the one and the left arrow key to hide or not hide the media panel. You can navigate through the files by obviously selecting each one of them with your cursor, and then that media is going to be displayed in the source view. But there's a hotkey to toggle through or cycle through the media in an individual folder. Hold the Shift key and use either the open or close bracket key, and you will cycle through the different media inside of the folder. I'm going to use the open bracket now and navigate back up. I use the close bracket, I navigate back down. Understand this is only within one folder. It does not jump into the other folder, the audio folder, and start cycling through that. I have to manually open that up, select the file in there, and then I can use my Shift, Open, or Close bracket to toggle between those different files. Just like we learned in the Media Hub, we can create folders with a hotkey. I can select the top default library because when I'm using the hotkey of Command B to control or create a new folder, it's relevant to what folder is selected or what library is selected that folder will be created in. So I'll hold Command and hit the B key, and you'll see a new folder has been added, and it's waiting for me to name it. I'll name this one Video. Then I'll select all the video clips that are in the default library and drag that and drop them into the video folder. Now I'll select the default library once again, Command B again to create another folder, and I'll name this one Color. Then I'll select all the color sources that I created and I will drag and drop them into that folder. So now you'll see they are all organized. You can create multiple libraries to really organize your media panel and the media in the project that you're working in. You'll do that by holding the Shift, Command, and N key, and a new library is created, and it's waiting to be named. I'll name this Backup. And then with that library selected, I can hold the Command and hit B. A new folder will be created in there. I can name this one Sequence. So now as I'm working on a sequence, and if I want to make a backup or a duplicate of it, I can hold Command and hit the D key with that sequence selected, and a duplicate version of that sequence will be created. I can then drag and drop it into my sequence folder down in my backup folder. This is handy for doing a backup of a sequence or maybe different versions of a sequence that you're working on. If I want to rename the sequence, I can hit the 9 key. Now whatever is selected is highlighted to be renamed. If I hit the Home key, I'm now brought to the front of the word, and I can enter 01 underscore. Hitting the N key will obviously bring you to the end of the word. I'll hit the Return key, and I've renamed my sequence. When you have multiple folders, such as I have here, you obviously can use the little triangles to expand and collapse those different folders individually. If you want to expand everything in an individual library, you can hold the Option key and click on its triangle to expand not only that default library, but every folder inside of it. The shortcut hotkey is relevant to one individual library. You'll notice that the backup library did not expand when I used that hotkey. Let me collapse the color folder for demonstration. Then I come up not holding any shortcut or hotkey, and I close the default library, and I click once again to reopen it. You'll notice the color folder is still closed. This makes sense. If I hold the Option key and click the default library, and then re-expand it without holding the Option key, you'll notice that all the folders have been collapsed. So holding the Option key and clicking on an individual library will allow you to expand or collapse all the folders at one time. If I hold the Option key and use the triangle for the top folder, which is named Libraries, then all my libraries will be expanded or collapsed, depending upon if I'm closing or expanding the library on top.